YouTube, what's going on, man? Clutch Talk community, Clutch Talk family. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be talking about the buyout market candidates. Some of these players already got bought out, but some of these players are potential buyouts, meaning there's a good chance they do get bought out, and they're just really just waiting on the organization and them to agree upon that. Now, I came up with at least 10 players on the list, me and John. I think we have similar players. Pretty much how it's going to go is we're going to describe how we're going to put the stats out for each player, right? And then at the end, we're going to predict a team that we can see these players going to help them in the long run. Because at the end of the day, the buyout market is for contenders, just adding a couple more pieces to make a move, right? So hopefully y'all enjoyed today's video. Make sure you drop that sub and notifications, and let's get straight to it.
Get straight to it, my boy.
Listen, we're gonna start off with number one. I think this one's obvious. Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Westbrook got traded to the Utah Jazz in that 3-team trade, and his thing is very interesting because Danny Ainge kind of came out and said he doesn't mind staying here, but at the end of the day, it's his decision. But I don't see Russ staying in Utah because of all the incidents that he dealt with when he goed against that team in the playoffs when he was on the Thunder. You know, it was bad interactions with the fans and stuff like that. And also, they're just not a playoff team. Like, why does he want to go to a non-playoff team? Especially the point of his career. But Russell Westbrook averaged about 16 points a game this year, shooting about 41.7% for the field, 29.6% from the three-point line, which is not the greatest. It's pretty bad. 6.2 rebounds, 7.5 assists, averaging a steal a game, and averaging about 3.5 turnovers a game. Now, for a player that's coming off the bench, close to averaging triple-double, I say that's pretty productive. I mean, in the starting lineup, he played horrible for the Lakers, but when he went to the bench, he played a lot better. Now, I'm going to say this, right? Russell Westbrook has his pros and he has his cons. And at the end of the day, this is the buyout market, so you can't be picky, John, right? These players, there's the reason why they're getting bought out because they can't really stay on the team right now. The teams just don't want them. So you can't be like, I don't want him because of this or that. If you're getting picked up, is because that's something you need help on. Like, that's something you feel like the team's missing on. So Russ, at the end of the day, I feel like he brings that leadership 100%. He's a very great teammate. He can still ball. He can still produce some good numbers. Yes, he does have some bad nights, but like I said, you can't be picky with it. And I feel like a good destination for him would be the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry's dealing with a lot of injuries. It's getting very toxic over there. Gabe Vincent is the only guard that's really backing him up. So either Russ comes off the bench, Vincent starts, or Russ starts, or Vincent comes off the bench. And I think it helps that unit out a lot. Also, too, we all know Russ is good in transition. Not how he was before in OKC when he was at OKC, but he's still good in transition. I mean, he's going to have his players running 110%. Anybody that plays with Russell Westbrook, one thing about Russ, he's going to go 110%. Even if he's playing bad, he's playing excellent, he's playing mid, he's always going to go 110%. As soon as he gets that rebound, he wants his teammates running to the three-point line, cutting to the rim and stuff like that. So it can help out a lot of players that can't create their own shot, John. It can help out a lot of players that, typically don't really get the ball much on the half-court end, right? I know Russ tends to struggle on the half-court end, but he can also – the defense at the end of the day is still going to play Russ. Only time they really don't play him is when he's at the three-point line. But when he's attacking to the rim, there's going to be 5 people there no matter what, right? He can kick out. Russ is very good with people that's shooters, spot up, kick out, bang, knock it down. And that's how Russ plays. And I think you got Tyler Hero over there. You got Max Strus over there when Duncan comes back. So I think it'll be a solid fit over there. But, yeah.
Yeah, my boy. I definitely like to hear that, that side of the Russell Westbrook, buyout argument side debate. I actually am leaning a little bit more on the other side. I'm coming from a different approach. So I like that you bring, the listeners are going to get 2 sides of the argument, 2 sides of the field here. And I did hear those rumors that Russ Westbrook is open to staying in Utah, which I think would be solid, I guess, for him. But just like how you mentioned, because of his history and of what we know of Utah, I mean, we know that Utah and Boston are 2, almost racist places, to be honest with you. And Russ has always had troubles there. But honestly, let's just be honest about Russell Westbrook, right? He is at his best when he can lead, when he can do what he wants, and the team is orchestrated and built around him. The problem is that the type of basketball that he plays, the type of basketball that he wants to play is just not winning basketball. It does not win basketball games enough to be a NBA Finals, right? NBA Finals champ or NBA champion. Russ Westbrook's playing right now is just simply maybe at its best being regular season champions, right? And I think he's well past that, right? So if Russell Westbrook, if he can understand and accept his role, understand that he's just not the same player that he used to be anymore, and accept his role in coming off the bench, because I generally think that like any team that he goes to right now, he would most likely be coming off the bench, because I just don't know too many NBA teams and too many NBA front office and organizations that are willing to say, here you go, Russell Westbrook, you're 34 years old, you're well past your prime, and here you go, I'm going to give you the keys instead of giving the keys to a youngin, a 23, 24-year-old who may not be as good as Russell Westbrook is to this day, but they may have, a lot better ceiling. So if Russell Westbrook can, understand his role at coming off the bench, and he's just not that guy anymore, he's not going to get those big time contracts, then there might be some teams out there who can use Russell Westbrook, and that'd be great for them. You mentioned the number one team, which I think is the Miami Heat. But let me add my but. If he cannot understand this role, if he's still going to be arguing about playing time, if he's still going to be complaining and wanting the spotlight and wanting to finish games and wanting to start and all this and that and all the glitz and the glamour, look, I know this may sound crazy, but I would not doubt if Russell Westbrook is out of the NBA. If he cannot accept his role, I would not doubt if he's out of the NBA. The same thing that happened to Carmelo Anthony is going to happen to Russell Westbrook if he can't accept that role. But if he can, then I do think that there are, some teams out there that could be a benefit of having him, but not many. And I think the Miami Heat definitely got to be front runners. So I'm just all in all agreements with you on there, but I definitely just wanted to add that Russ could be out the league if he can't accept this role.
I ain't gonna lie, I totally disagree with you. And that's not just me being a biased Russell Westbrook fan. When you compare him to Carmelo Anthony, right? Carmelo Anthony, part of his career, is good at nothing. You're telling me right now that he's not good at nothing. The only thing he can provide is shooting right now. And obviously, no teams even want that at this point. Russell Westbrook, honestly, was probably one of the best defenders on the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's get that straight. He was one of their best defenders. Who played defense on that team? Patrick Beverley got torched. I mean, if you're going to say he's the best defender, I mean, you can go with that. LeBron don't play defense. Anthony Davis, I mean, you could put him in the conversation, doesn't play enough games. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to get at, right? Carmelo Anthony can't do nothing else at all in his career. Russell Westbrook, still at this point, makes players better around him. Look what he does to a lot of these role players coming off the bench. He made Gabriel look like a talented role player, look like Thomas Bryant, a talented role player. Now he's up and gone. I just want to throw this out here too, right? I know it's only one game. They only played one game together. But look at Anthony Davis and Jalen Russell. I know it takes time, but Anthony Davis does not get easy buckets like he used to, like with Russell Westbrook no more. It's sad. Anthony Davis, even though he has been struggling a little bit, so I don't get why he's struggling. That's not the point of the video. But Russell Westbrook makes it easier for a lot of people and provides a lot of different stuff. Russell Westbrook could still attack the rim. He's still putting numbers up that he can still put up 30 points a game, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He just not asked for that. But I do agree on the part that he got to accept his role. And I truthfully think he did accept his role though, John. I just feel like what kicked him out was the Lakers fan base. And it was never Lakers. It was never LeBron. It was never AD, right? They are close. I don't think they're like, yo, get Russ up out of here. They're saying fix their roster, which could throw a sign, I guess. But I don't think they said this can't work out. Maybe you think in their head, John? I truthfully don't think that. I truthfully don't think they did.
I don't think they did, but I do know for a fact that LeBron understood this was not a fit. This was not going to work. So he may have not said, yo, get Russell out of here, but he said fix this roster. And part of fixing the roster is getting Russell Westbrook out of the team.
You know something too, and I want to bring this up, right? And I don't want to make this a Russ show, but I want to say something. A lot of people say, let Russ be Russ. So coming into your team, let me say something, right? Coming into your team, you already know how Russ has been throughout his career, right? You already know how it is, right? So Paul George example said, you just got to let Russ be Russ, and we got to find a way to play with it, right? LeBron said the same thing, let Russ be Russ. AD says the same thing, let Russ be Russ, right? And I can't tell you one time where they sacrificed. Russ sacrificed coming off the bench. I can't tell you. No, you can't. Because
I can tell you a lot of times where LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers or LeBron James or Anthony Davis should have had the ball, and the ball was in Russell Westbrook's hand at the end. That right there is a sacrifice.
Bro,
Russell Westbrook flopped it.
How's that? Let's be honest with you. It's no sacrifice because at the end of the day, right? Hold up, John. Let me tell you something, right? Those games, fun fact, those games they give the ball to Russ. You know why they give the ball to Russ? Because LeBron's gassed out. If you notice, LeBron's gassed out majority of the time heading into that end of the fourth quarter, LeBron's gassed out. You know why? Because they're coming down 20 points. And LeBron makes that big run and then give the ball to Russ. You can't really give the ball to AD as a clutch player because, like, they're just going to double him. And what do you want? What do you really want him to do? AD's not the same guy where he was in the bubble where he gets the ball at the the free throw line, hits him with a jab or shoot the. He doesn't have that in him no more. It's the truth of the matter. He doesn't have that, right? So you give the ball to Russ as your third option, as he should, right? He's the third best player on the team. If you want to say that right now, but what I'm trying to get at, right? Playing with Russ, you had to have shooters, and I blame the organization for that, right? They brought no shooters around them. LeBron's not known as a shooter. AD's not known as a shooter. And then you have Patrick Beverley and Troy Brown around him. Russ is going to struggle no matter what. Whatever team that he goes to, he does not have shooters. He's going to struggle. And you know that, John.
I agree, but that's not the message. The message is LeBron doesn't have shooters around him. This team was never supposed to be built around Russell Westbrook. He was a piece that was coming in to be built around LeBron James. So and the thing is, he's just not a good piece to be built around LeBron.
So why did LeBron say bring Russ in? So could say
they thought that was gonna work. But let's be real, T. We all knew this team was being built off LeBron and AD. Everyone else are complementary pieces. They never were like, oh yeah, we're gonna build this team off Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis.
And to be honest with you, it's crazy to say. Even Lakers fans say this. I'm gonna get a lot of hate. The team right now should be built off Russ. You let LeBron do him and do this and like that. But if you're gonna trade for, hold up, because this is why the Lakers fans were complaining. This big contract, $47 million coming off the bench. He's playing bad basketball. I agree. He does play a lot of dumb basketball, right? But you already know what you're going to get for LeBron. Now you're adding another player like Russell Westbrook, who you watched Russell Westbrook play throughout his career. Don't be surprised like when Russ does this. He did it his whole career. Why are you surprised that he's doing it on the Lakers now? That's the only point I don't like. It's like you knew what Russ did his whole career. But now that he's on the Lakers, now he's on your favorite team, a public team, he gets criticized like crazy.
But right? you got to be able to change your game. You this is not Oklahoma City. The second best player isn't Victor Oladipo. You know what I'm saying? You're not the best. When you're not the best player anymore, you have to be able to understand that, internalize that, and play, because winning is all that matters. Not you getting your stats, not you leading the league in triple doubles. That doesn't really matter. If you're not winning, why does it matter?
So him coming off the bench wasn't a sacrifice. That was a huge sacrifice, right?
That was a huge sacrifice. So
exactly.
I agree.
He didn't. One thing about Russ, this is the narrative about Russ. He doesn't complain. That's what people say about these reports. Make him look bad. Stop it. Them calling him a vampire in the locker room.
That was out of pocket. You know that was out of pocket. But
no matter what, hold up, right? No matter what, he's gonna get criticized. No matter what. But everybody after everything, right? Every teammate comes out. He's a good locker room. He doesn't. This is all false narrative where people just like to throw out there. We're not in the locker room. We don't know nothing. So how are you going to say this and that, but you don't know nothing? My reports this. Those reports can come from a dude that don't like Russell Westbrook. So they're going to throw them bad narratives out there, right? I know Russ on the court has an attitude problem. I don't want to say an attitude problem, but he just has one of those things where it's like he wants to win and his face is crazy. Like, doesn't he look always mad? His face is like always like.
Yeah. He got that dog in him.
But at the end of the day, I just want to say this before we go to our next thing, right? I like to say D'Angelo Russell. I'm not comparing them right now, right? But never mind. That has nothing to do with the point. We can talk about a video further on to that. But my second buyout is Patrick Beverley, right?
Hold on. Before you get to that, let me just say one last thing with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, he may have more to offer than Carmelo Anthony did, because Carmelo Anthony just had scoring. Carmelo Anthony is an elite scorer. But name me right now a team in the NBA that will take Russell Westbrook and replace him with a starter, or even if he comes off the bench, they actually become a better team, or they actually get in title contention. Russell Westbrook at 34.
Yep. Los Angeles Clippers.
No, that doesn't fit. They have a gang of point guards who did the exact same thing.
Hold on, let me say something. One, they don't have a gang of point guards. They shipped off all the point guards. They have no point guards on their roster right
Bones
now.
Highlands is a point guard.
You said what?
Bones Highland is going to run the point guard.
So hold on. So you're telling me a Bones Highland is going to be running their point? I don't think Bones Highland's even their starter. I think he's a six man. He's not starting off their team, right? So they lost Reggie Jackson. The problem was the Clippers, they never had a true point guard. They lost Reggie Jackson. They lost John Wall. Their problem is they've been looking for a point guard, but they can't find it, right? And so Bones Highland is going to be that six man. I don't see him being their starter at all, to be honest with you, right? And the reason why I say he's a great fit is if you look at the Clippers, you know what they're surrounded with? Not only superstars, we don't care about that, but they have shooting all over the court. And that's what Paul George was saying is like, it fits his needs. When Russ is driving to the rim, who can he kick it out to? He has Nicholas Batum. He has Norman Powell over here. They have a bunch of shooters everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it just fits perfect on him. That's why I say the Clippers. When it comes to the stagnating lineups of how the big three is going to work together, of Kawhi and Paul George, that's a question mark. But at the end of the day, right, this is why it comes up with coaching. And Russ needs to be coached by an elite coach. And I think Ty Lue is one of those coaches. Darvin Ham is a terrible coach. Let's get that. So it plays a lot of factors in his career. I do want to say this. Russ has to play into his role. And it's hard, John, right? Just think of this. You being your boss right now, and it's like, like, your time's coming to an end, but people like, you see other people coming in. You get it? So it's hard as an NBA player. So I don't blame him, but he has to do it. But it's hard. We all know it's hard. No one wants to step down when you was that guy.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. But I agree on your point of the sake, like he has to do what it has to do. But in my opinion, John, I don't think he really wants to win a championship. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem right there, because the entire goal is to win a championship, in my opinion. If you're not playing to win, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, for some players in the NBA, for some players though.
No, I agree. Get a bag, take care of your family, generational wealth. By all means. But right here, we're just talking about in between the lines. We're talking about basketball, and just like how Kobe said, winning is all that matters. Like that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, the ultimate winning and the only way to not get denied. And I'll even say this, man, like a lot of people that know me in real life know that, I live in the Bay. So unfortunately I got to hear Warriors fans all the time talking. And I always clap back. You know what I'm saying? I always have my clap backs. I always go back and forth, but I never clapped back after they won a championship. Because what can I say? I can't say anything. They are officially, until somebody else wins a championship, they're officially the best team in the best league in the world. And so winning matters, and winning shuts people up. So I think that if Russell Westbrook wants to shut up everybody, should go win.
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I don't think a win does nothing for him. He's always going to get hate no matter what.
A ring will help it, though. A ring would definitely help it.
It would close some arguments, but it wouldn't close the fact that if he does something bad, he gets millions and millions of views and millions of retweets and millions of narratives. He's a bad teammate and this and that. That's never going to change.
That's not just him. So does LeBron.
Stop it. Stop it. Yo, you know what's crazy? I just seen D'Angelo Russell airball his first shot on the Lakers, right? Where's it? No one's talking about it.
You're comparing.
No, I'm not, because it should be the same thing, right? Russell Westbrook airballed so many threes on the Los Angeles Lakers, John. What was the first thing I go on Twitter? Hoop Central. Oh my goodness, Russell Westbrook just airballed a free throw. Oh my goodness, he just airballed a shot.
Because of what? You know it exactly. We know. We talk about
what
the famous people, the people that is clickbait, the people that is gonna bring views, eyes. Bro, let's be honest. Russell Westbrook is a bigger household name than D'Angelo Russell. 7 days out of 7, 10 times out of 10.
100%.
People are going to talk about that because they want people coming to their page. Of course. You know what I'm saying? That's clickbait. They getting you clearly.
Technically, it's not clickbait because Russ did it. Listen, it's not clickbait. Yeah,
You're right.
All right?
You're right. I'm not going to lie. You're right.
But there's no need to do all that. They're trying to make him as a bad person. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to agenda that. That's all I don't like, bro.
I mean, some people got an agenda. So, hey, look, man. I mean, some people, LeBron just is honest, just became the leading scorer of all time. People still found a way to hate on. That's how it is. Some people just hate. They hate for a living. But okay, we spent a lot of time on that Russell Westbrook. But talk to me about Patrick Beverley.
So Patrick Beverley. It's funny that these two guards just got traded and they're going to get bought out. And these two guards statistically probably played one of their worst seasons. And it's not a coincidence that you play terrible when you're on the Lakers. It's just not a coincidence. It's not. I mean, Patrick Beverley literally just played his best basketball the year before this. That's why they traded for him. On the Minnesota Timberwolves, he said, Patrick Beverley said, I never missed the playoffs, and I'm going to make the playoffs this year. What did he do? He made the playoffs with that Minnesota Timberwolves team, right? He played his best year ever. Then he gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he started to play better at the end. Let's be honest with you. He started shooting a little bit better. But at the beginning of the year, he's probably one of the worst players in the NBA, right? It's just – but this year, he averaged about 6 points a game, 40% from the field, 35% from the three-point line, about 3.1 rebounds, 2.6 assists. I would just average out to a steal a game and about up there. But I think Patrick Beverley could help out a lot of teams. I see him going back to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, he loved it over there. I think it was sad when he tweeted out when Russell got traded to the Lakers. He said, gang is dead. And then what happens 2 seconds later? He said, yeah, gang ain't here no more. Gets shipped off. So I think it's unfortunate, but I definitely see him going back to Minnesota. I think it's a great fit. Think he just plays his role over there. I think he does exactly what he did last year to this season. But it's his second year. He already has a chemistry because he played with these players already, right? They may have a new couple players over there, Kyle Anderson, but that's fine. Majority of the team is still there. The same coaching staff still there. Everything's still there. I think he likes being over there. Obviously, he doesn't have Russell no more, but that means more opportunity for him. And because Mike Conley's their new starting point guard, which I'm not a big fan of, I guess. It is what it is. But Beverley's going to be playing a lot more opportunity, meaning more opportunity is more money. And that's what Patrick Beverley, point of his career right now, and that's all he really wants. So I see him going back to Minnesota.
Man, I think that too. I have it right here as a matter of fact in my notes. I think he's going back to Minnesota. But I think another team that he would be great for, I'm not going to lie, is the Grizzlies. He could come off the bench and, kind of do a little bit of what Anthony Melton was doing when he was coming off the bench for the Grizzlies, man. So just coming off the bench, being a menace, having that energy on the defensive end, and being able to knock down some shots when it comes your way. But I think, for playing the odds, I think it's definitely going to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, 100%. Another person on the list, I have John Wall. Now, this is funny, and I'm sorry I keep bringing up Russell Westbrook, but I remember there was a time where it's like, Lakers, we need John. I'd rather have John Wall over Russell Westbrook. Yeah, John Wall, if you want to talk about washed-up players and the career is over, John Wall's career is over. Like, that's the only thing is when people say Russell Westbrook's career is over and then they throw John Wall in the same picture, let's be honest with you. John Wall is horrible. He is not a basketball player no more. John, he shoots 40% from the field, which is absolutely terrible, right? But not only does he shoot 40% from the field, he shoots 30% from the three-point line. And, it's low-key, similar stats to Russell Westbrook field goal percentage and thing, because we all know Russ is not a great shooter. But when it comes to other stuff that he does on the court, he doesn't impact nothing. He doesn't help on the rebound count, which fine. Most guards don't, right? Most guards are not typically like Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons and stuff like that, just like guards that get the rebound, go, right? Playmaking, he doesn't make his teammates better. He turns the ball over frequently. He's just a negative impact. He's negative. And that's why the Clippers gave up on him so quick. There's a reason why the Clippers couldn't even trade him. No one wants him. And no one wants that big contract. And it's funny because I actually would have loved John Wall to go to the Lakers, because if he would have went to the Lakers, he would have got so much hate and I would have just been laughing because y'all wanted him over Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying. But he's averaging 11.5 points. Russell Westbrook's worst season, he's never even averaging that. Come on, man. 40% for the field. Like I said, he's just not a good basketball player no more. I didn't even put a team on him. I just put China.
You crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, John Wall's definitely falling off. But hey, that field goal percentage, Russell Westbrook only is 1% better than him. So
2% better. 2% better. 41.7. 41.7, John, to be exact. We're going to round that up to 42%. But like I said, that's why I said they have a near field goal percentage. But Russ does a lot more things to help his team win. John Wall does that's what stands out, right? Yeah.
I'll give it to you. No, I definitely do. John Wall definitely does not do as much as Russell Westbrook does on the court. And look, John Wall, he's just been bad, just hasn't been the same. But I think a team that could definitely take a chance on him only because they could get him for cheap, and this would be very low risk, high reward. That's the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Look, he doesn't have to play much. He can come in and, deep in the playoffs. So if they need some rotational minutes. More than anything, he's a vet, man. He's a 13-year vet. He's a 5-time All-Star. Whether he's the same player or not anymore, that's neither here or there. We all know that vets matter on teams come deep playoff times. You need that experience. You need that that veteran presence that's been there before. That's not very scared of the moment, familiar with the moment. So I think John Wall, 13-year vet, 5-time All-Star, he's seen it all, done it all. I think that John Wall could be a use on the Bucks.
I'd rather have George Hill over John Wall. I'd rather have Javon Carter over John Wall. John Wall,
not Javon Carter. I can't do that.
Javon Carter. Listen,
the ball-headed bandit.
Javon Carter may not be better, but it's a better fit, and that's what Russ was. He's not. James Russell's not better than Russell Westbrook. It's just a better fit. As sometimes it just really just matters on better fits,
Absolutely, you got to go to the fit. Go to the fit.
But my next bio is going to be Serge Ibaka. Another, I think he's past his time. It's sad because I watched Serge Ibaka pretty much my whole career, man. They used to call him Serge Ibaka. You know what I'm saying? They used to call him Serge Ibaka. He was blocking everything. He had that mid-range on point. He was even stepping out to the three-point line. He was doing his thing, man. But ever since he left Oklahoma City Thunder, his career kind of just went down path. I think it's just because of age, injuries, and stuff like that. He got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I thought it was a good pickup last offseason. The last trade deadline. I'm like, okay, Serge to the Bucks, another big body, another space of someone that can space the floor. Didn't really do too much. Didn't crack the rotation this year. Once again, only getting about 12 minutes a game, 4.1 points a game, 48% from the field, and 33% from the 3-point line, and 2.8 rebounds. He's just not the same person. But I do see someone picking him up though. I do see, because a lot of teams need big bodies now. And I think he might not even be playing, but I think when you hit the postseason, you deal with injuries, right? And so when you deal with injuries, you're going to need a replacement that has been in the moment, that could do all the stuff that he used to. Like, I feel like he could still knock the mid-range down. I don't feel like he's still Serge Ibaka, but I still feel like sometimes it's still in there. And he's not going to be playing too much, so you're not going to be relying on, I need him to do this, I need him to do that, da-da-da-da. So a team that I could possibly see him on, and maybe I'm just being a little biased because I cover the team, is the Miami Heat. Once again, they don't really have much. They don't have depth at all. I mean, right now they're relying on Bam. That's it. Orlando Robinson is hurt. Yurt Seven is hurt, and they just released Dwayne Dedmon. So they don't have no bigs on that team at all. They need a big body, at least something on there. So that's what I go with.
I mean, I like that. And it's crazy because we're saying all these moves that the Heat need to make, and come trade deadline, they didn't do anything. So that's
nothing.
That's kind of funny, but that's the trade deadline winners and losers, which we just dropped. So make sure you guys go check that out. But as far as Serge Ibaka, my boy, I'm right there with you. Unfortunately, he's not the same Serge Ibaka. He was fun back in the day. Like, man, like I remember Russ and KD and Harden used to throw him lobs. He used to be going up there, two-hand jamming it down. Yeah, Serge was that guy. But what I think a team that should be, looking for a player like Serge Ibaka is the 76ers, man. I think at the trade deadline, the 76ers should have tried to pick up a backup big to Joel Embiid. Montrezl Harrell just simply isn't enough. He's just small. He's just a smaller big, and come playoffs, he's going to get played off the court. So I think, a player like Serge Ibaka, not to rely on him, like how you said, not like, oh, yo, Doc Rivers is not like, yo, we don't know what to do. Serge Ibaka, that's not going to happen. But I think, if Joel Embiid needs some rest, get some spot up minutes for Serge Ibaka, who's a vet, I feel like the buyout market, a big thing that makes you want to be grabbed a lot and the team's wanting you is if you're a vet. If you've been there, if the moment isn't too big for you. And Serge Ibaka, he's been in that moment. He's been to the NBA Finals. In his prime, he was able to stick with some guards in the perimeter. He led the league multiple times with block shots. Right now, it says he's 33 years old, but just looking at him, he looks older than 33.
Yeah, he looks like 50.
And Shaq Perk came out and said, I don't know if you've seen it one time, but Perk was talking about like how the OKC Thunder, how they were so good when they're very young. And he was basically talking about like, oh, forget like, oh, they're young and they can have it next year. He's like, man, go for it. If you have a time for a championship window, go for it. And he was listing off Westbrook's age, Harden's age, KD's age. And he was like, and Serge Ibaka was young, but we all know he was like 33 back then. So I'm wondering how old he is right now because it says.
Bro, Perkins is corny.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I low-key like Perk as an analyst. I'm not gonna lie. I low-key like Perk But the other team I think that could also use Serge Ibaka, and this is because they totally missed the ball. And this is like the knockoff version of what you really should have, but it's the Mavs. The Mavs need a big body, go up with other bigs in the playoffs, be able to go body to body. Serge is not the answer, but you didn't get the answer, so at least get something.
Yep. So my another option is going to be Will Barton. Will Barton's from the Wizards. They're going to agree upon a buyout very, very soon. Ever since he left Denver, and even when he was on Denver, there was sometimes he just played bad, but he went to the Wizards and fell off dramatically. I mean, on Denver, he was averaging 15 points a game, 37% from the three-point line, 45% for the field, John, and 6.3 rebounds. But not only that, right, this season, his points went down in half. His minutes went down. He's getting like 30-plus minutes in Denver because he was a starter, to be fair, right? The Wizards, he's getting 19 minutes a game. So he's only averaged about 7.5 points, 38% from the field, which is horrible. That's worse than Russell Westbrook. Let's get that. If you're shooting worse than Russ, you know you're playing bad, right? But the crazy thing is that he's shooting 38% from the three-point line, which is like you're shooting bad from the field. With the three-point line, you're lighting it up, you know? 2.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and he's shooting about 78% from the free throw line. But I feel like he's still going to be an impactful free agent. He's a 6'6" wing who we all know could give you buckets, create his own shot, and do his thing. And wings right now are they're a must need. You need them, right? So a team that I can most definitely see him going to, and I think they're just going to keep piling their team up, is the Phoenix Suns. I think the Phoenix Suns, even though they picked up Terrence Ross isn't known as that defender. He's just more known as a shooter. And the other hand of Will Barton, he's a better defender than Terrence Ross, right? He can give you buckets, he can crash for the rebounds, and could be another spot up shooter. I think the Phoenix Suns want to continue to bolster their bench, even if they do have a roster spot. And even if he doesn't go to the Phoenix Suns, I can see the 76ers. I think the 76ers would be another good option. They picked up Daniel House during the offseason, but hasn't really done much. I can see Will Barton being in the rotation, being an impact player in the playoffs, a deep playoff run with Joel, with James Harden, with Tyrese Maxey. And I think you could put him in a closing lineup sometimes because he played with the Denver Nuggets where they were in playoff series and he was knocking some shots down. And yes, there were some times where he's playing some bad basketball because he's a role player at the end of the day. Role players are not always going to play basketball good unless they're a superstar. He ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So either the 76ers or the Phoenix Suns, I see Will Barton going to.
I like those two teams, my boy, but that's not where you're going. He going to the La La Land. You going to the Lakers, man. The Lakers need to keep adding shooters, man. And you just said it yourself. He's been a knockdown shooter this season. This season shooting 38% from the three, but for his career, this is the 10+ year vet, at 35% from the 3-point line. That's what the Lakers need. The Lakers don't need somebody to go put the ball on the ground and score, which he can do. But the Lakers just need somebody to, as soon as the defense crashes because they can't guard LeBron and LeBron gets inside, take it to somebody who can have a knockdown shot. What he did in Denver, and it's what I think he can keep doing if he comes to the Lakers.
100%. Then my last one was going to be Kelly Olynyk. This one, John, is interesting to me because he's on the Utah Jazz right now, but it looks like the direction they're going is like, why do they need him? You know, they just traded pretty much a lot of their players. They gave up Mike Conley, Beasley, and Vanderbilt. So it's like, okay, now what do you want to do off this? But it's interesting that they didn't trade him. And that kind of makes me think they might keep him because they didn't trade him. Because I think you could possibly get a first-round pick. Call me crazy. I think you could possibly get a first-round pick out of Kelly Olynyk. The way the trades are now, John, bro, Cam Reddish got a first-round pick.
Anybody get a first-round pick, man.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Hey, listen, man, if Cam Reddish can get a first-round pick, you can do anything in life.
But Kelly Olynyk's going to be a hot option. If he hits the buyout market, he's going to be a hot option because, dude, he's averaging 12 points a game, 48% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1 steal, and he's 6'11". And you know me, I love stretch bigs that can spread the floor, man. I just love them. I think that's the generation we're in. We're not in the generation no more where you're playing like Shaq. You're going, in the paint, just trying to bully people. No, you're going to try to bully me. I'm going to sit at this three-point line. I need your slow self to catch me at the three-point line. I'm going to hit you with the up fake. You know what I'm saying? I hit you with the jab because you're too slow.
I'm gone.
You know what I'm saying? I get bang. Hey. And me and John be talking about we gonna play each other in ball, man. I'm gonna drop John off so bad.
Man, this guy's crazy, y'all. Hey, man. Hey, let us know in the comment section down below if you want that game recorded when we see each other.
Man, I'm ready for that for sure. But yeah, man, I got Kelly Olynyk. To be honest with you, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all guys. I just added him to the list right now, so I haven't really came up with a team. But I'll say this though, right? Any contender team right now, a real legit contender team right now, wants him 100%. I don't care what anybody says. You could go Dallas Mavericks, and I hate going with the teams. Like I went with Miami twice. I hate doing that. So let's just change it up a little bit, right? Let's look at Memphis Grizzlies, right? And you know why I say Memphis? Because in the playoffs, Steven Adams is unplayable, right? And what did they go in the playoffs? They want Brandon Clark. But if you can go with Kelly Olynyk, who can space out the floor, it just makes their offense even more dynamic. Because look, right? Ja Morant's always attacking to the rim. Woo! Who's in the corner? Kelly. You know?
Kelly. Hey, I like that. I like that. I like that pick a lot. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, I can't see Kelly Olynyk signing 1 year, $2 million. You see what I'm saying?
You're gonna need a little more than that.
Yeah,
you're gonna need a little more than that.
He's like a mid-level exception player, personally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the list. I do have Stanley Johnson in my list because he just got bond out today. Maybe he goes back to the Lakers. Maybe he doesn't. I think he's a solid wing. He's shooting 45% from the three-point line, but I gotta see how many three-pointers he has took because that's a little bit too high.
That's like on some Stephen Curry. Yeah. That's a little too high, brother.
Yeah, so that's the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and John, anything else?
Nothing else, my brother. For the family, make sure you get at us. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at Clutch Talk Pod. Get at us over there. Come debate with us. Come talk to us. Interact with us. We got live clips on there, debates, polls. The whole
Discord
9,
coming
man.
soon.
Discord coming soon, man. Discord coming soon. But if that's it, then we out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.